filming a podcast. Hey everyone, Matpat here, and welcome to Like and Describe, YouTube's official trends podcast, bringing you the little-known stories behind some of the biggest trends. As you can see, I'm not in my home studio today, very decidedly not. In this episode, we're actually taping it live here at Vidcon in front of a packed house of fans. How's everyone feeling today? Not too bad. Thank you all for coming here today, amongst everything else crazy that's happening here at Vidcon. But I do have one more important question for you guys, which is, who's hungry? Slightly fewer people, to be fair, just for everyone watching this at home, is slightly fewer people because we are doing this immediately after lunch. But hey, I hope that you start building an appetite over the course of this episode, because today's episode is going to be a feast through the ultimate comfort food content trend here on YouTube, and that's mukbangs. Those unmistakable videos where creators invite their viewers to watch them enjoy a meal on camera. It could be a simple bowl of ramen. It could be as extreme as eating an entire menu of food from your favorite restaurant. And honestly, it could be anything in between. By engaging many of our senses through ASMR, what started as this early niche form of sensory stimulation has proved to be irresistible to the world, and it's helped redefine mainstream entertainment. Over the course of the next hour of this session, we're going to be making our way through the 4 key stages of mukbangs, the history of mukbangs, if you will, and how it's become this impactful, long-lasting trend, influencing everything from ASMR content on YouTube to modern foodie interview shows. This is basically like the VidCon equivalent of an Eras tour, except, right? An Eras tour, except less conversations about breaking up with your boyfriend, and more focus on eating like sushi in large quantities. Yeah? Basically the same thing, right? Yeah, hard. Who here has watched a mukbang video? Yeah? Decent number of people here. This is about, I'd say, like 70% of the people here in this room. And how many of you have participated in a mukbang video before? Literally no one. Well, I have good news for you, friends, because today all of you are going to be involved in your very first ever mukbang video. In fact, right? In fact, it's going to be the single largest mukbang video I've ever been a part of as well. So at all of your seats, there should be a bag of chips. Yes? Do not open those, but thank you for holding them up and proving that they do in fact exist. And yes, I don't know the stuff the production team set it up, so I believe it now. Good job, production team. Hold on to those for now. They're gonna pay off later. I know you might be hungry. Some of you might not be. We already covered that, but hold on to them. We're gonna pull them back up in a little bit later. For me, my first ever mukbang video was on the set of GT Live, our live streaming channel. Yeah? Let's do a test of who actually knows GT Live. Everyone? Okay. If you know, you know, right? So a couple years ago, I'd say probably 2018, 2019, we did an episode of GT Live where we were exposed to the world of mukbang videos, and we saw the good and the unusual all in one package. And for me, it was really satisfying, and it was really interesting to hear the sounds that came with all the different foods. But for Stephanie, my partner in crime, my lovely wife, and the real mastermind, behind everything we do at Team Theorist, she has a sensitivity to eating noises, and so it was legitimately the single worst experience that we ever had on that channel. So, you know, your results may vary, right? So I've established that you guys are going to be a part of this mukbang video, but obviously we need a couple other guests, right? We have a table set up here with a whole lot of other food items ready to be consumed, right? So let's invite a panel of creators who are known for their mukbang content. They're the veritable mukbang masters. These creators aren't just eating food, they're reshaping the content game. From how ASMR is incorporated into food challenges to exposing the world to brand new foods that they've never tried before, these creators are the essence of what makes mukbang mukbang. So, you guys ready to meet our guests? First up, we have a mukbang legend who brings brings the heat to every video, creating spicy food challenges and delectable mukbangs for every cuisine. She's an ASMR expert and has a passion for all things food. Please welcome the creator and host of Eat Spicy with Tea, Tiffany! Next up, we have a mukbang veteran creating since 2016. She currently has more than 295 million views under her belt. She's not just a foodie, she is a sensation. Please welcome Hyuni Kim, aka Hyuni Eats! And rounding out our panel of esteemed eaters, give a big VidCon welcome to the culinary wizard himself, none other than Josh Scherer. As an I didn't even get to finish your intro, Josh. Would you like me to finish your pre-scripted intro, Josh?
I actually really would, Matt. Thank you.
Okay. Josh Scherer, as an OG YouTube creator and the mastermind behind Mythical Kitchen, he's not just cooking up a storm, he's creating a culinary universe, delighting taste buds since 2014. Does that sound accurate?
That sounds accurate. I agree to those terms. Also, beautifully said. Also, beautiful people. Welcome, Vidcon. What's up?
There's a lot of people who are very eager to watch you eat, guys. Also, can I just say, there's a very large gap between us. I feel like we're in different continents right now.
Matt, scoot closer. Come on. Bring it in.
I would love to do that, please. Here we go. It's happening in real time.
I got you.
Oh, hold on. I have definitely disconnected the table top from the table. Don't do it. Don't do it. Nope.
I think I can do it.
Nope. If we move this even a single instant, like if we move this even a fraction of an inch, it is going to collapse onto itself, and I will never be invited to VidCon again. And already, once this weekend, I have got myself booted out of VidCon. So here we go. This is totally fine. The YouTube team who put this together, they're like, oh yes, this is totally going.
What? I can't hear you.
No, you can't? Do I need to be a little
so far
louder?
away.
I know. Hey, they had to separate us, Josh. They had to keep us apart. All right. So let's see. Also, you'll notice at this point, we can't just have a bunch of creators here talking about mukbang without engaging in a mukbang themselves. So obviously, in front of all you guys, we have a pre-prepared meal that we'll be engaging with as we progress through the eras of mukbang. Sound like a plan? Good? We're all good? So, with that being said, let's start off our eras tour with the origins of mukbang. If you could, please reveal dish number 1.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
My favorite!
Yeah, well, if you could talk to the audience, what are you seeing in front of you?
Right now we have Japanese ramen here in front of us.
Super
Super delicious.
delicious, because who doesn't want a hot bowl of ramen on a Southern California day, right?
I will say a hot bowl of soup actually cools you down scientifically on a hot day because it triggers your body's natural cooling responses. So yes, Mathew Patrick, I do want it.
Who are you, me? That's the thing that I would say as the obnoxious know-it-all.
We're gonna merge into one person by the end of this.
Right, exactly. We can do a fusion dance at the end. How's that sound? Right? People understood that reference. Also, I want to do a special shout out to the Salvation Army, who's going to be accepting all the leftover untouched food at the end of our feast today. So shout outs to them, Salvation Army. Okay, so I don't want to hold you guys up. If you would, please feel free to start digging in. I have the easy job of just talking. You guys have the hard job of eating and talking. If you could, now, if this was your home sets, or if this was the content that you yourself were making, how would you prepare your ramen, guys? Oh, listen to those slurping sounds. I can hear them all the way over here. How would you prepare your ramen? What's your preferred ramen eating style?
For me, I like to put 2 cups of water and then put in all the flakes first before the noodles. So then the broth kind of like boils, comes to a boil, you get more flavor, and then put your ramen and then your soup base. That's how I make my ramen.
Yeah. How about you, Tiffany?
So for me, I add some fish sauce, some spicy chili flakes, Any sauce that's red because it's spicy and more spice.
It's spice, and more spice. So I gotta ask, how does the Vidcon prepared ramen compare to maybe your ideal bowl of ramen?
It's not spicy enough, but it's delicious.
I think it's really great, man. You got the roasted shiitake mushrooms on here. This is a gorgeous bowl of food. This is proper. Also, there's a special place in hell for people who criticize free food. That's all I'm saying. Not you. No, you're right.
Putting me on the spot here.
Oh my god, did you just
Arm wrestle. Right now. Settle it. Settle the score.
How about a thumb wrestle? I feel like a thumb wrestle might be more balanced between the two of you. No? Okay, we're just gonna ignore the thumb wrestle. That's totally fine. Put me in, coach. Oh, there they go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be a piece of cake. There it is. Beauty takes it. Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand, shall we, friends? Which is the origins of mukbang. So era 1, basically, we had YouTube's research teams dig through the entire history of food videos on YouTube, and they actually date back as early as 2006. It's kind of crazy, right? Like that's forever ago, right? Those were the first instances of creators eating food on camera. Some of the clips were set to music, other of the clips were more focused on the ASMR of the eating sounds as they were consuming the food. But it's worth noting that because this was 2006, the word mukbang, the word ASMR, those weren't things in the cultural vernacular yet. They weren't appearing in titles and thumbnails, and yet this was the earliest days of food and mukbang specific content on YouTube. Which brings the question, obviously you guys weren't necessarily era 1 creators, but do you remember watching any of those videos in the early days? Tiffany, what got you interested in the world of mukbang?
So for me, I had just had a baby, and I used to be at home watching mukbangs all the time.
Here, and also, can we make sure that your microphone's just a little bit closer?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
So I had just had a baby, and I used to be at home watching mukbangs all the time. I was interested in the flavors of the foods that they were eating. I wanted to know where they got it from, and I found a place. And then I found myself going to this place all the time. And so I'm like, why don't I just make mukbangs myself? And so I did.
Nice. Judy, how about you?
So for me, I used to watch live streams when it was popular in Korea, and I came across the first mukbang video on a different platform. But it was this cute guy that had a samoyed, and he was cooking food in front of the camera and eating with the viewers. And this was when I was actually on the Beyonce diet, the cayenne pepper diet, and it helped me curb my cravings. So yeah.
Can you elaborate? I know what the Beyonce diet is, but in case anybody else doesn't.
So basically,
A lot of lemonade.
a lot of lemon.
Get it? And no Beyonce fans, no Beyonce stans. One person in row 1 got that joke. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, a lot of lemon, cayenne pepper, honey, and water, and you just basically drink that for 3 days. But I first came across that mukbang video and helped me curb my cravings, and then I started watching other spicy food videos, and I was like, you know what? Screw this diet. I'm gonna start eating. And I used to eat a lot when I was little, so then I also came across Kimi, one of the first English mukbangs, and I was like, I love food, and why don't I try this? And that's how I started my mukbang channel.
Incredible. And now, Josh, obviously you are not a mukbang creator yourself, but do you remember kind of your first introduction to this world? Like, when were you first exposed to it, or do you remember your first video that you saw?
I actually do remember the first mukbang video that I saw, and it was because of one of my best friends, Tae-sung Kim. I interviewed a chef recently, his name's Dookie Hong, one of the best Korean chefs in America. She knows Dookie, he's the man. But he was talking about how, in his opinion, a lot of Korean culture spreads via the KBF, the Korean best friend. And he's like, if you didn't have a KBF growing up, find one, because that is how I was listening to, Gangnam Style had just come out, this is culturally relevant, and he would show us, we'd be in our college apartment, and he'd just pull up all these K-pop YouTube videos, and then he was talking about a dish called kanjang gejang, the raw marinated crab, and I didn't know what it was, and he pulled up a mukbang video, and I was like, what is this? They're just sitting there and eating large piles of delicious looking food? How do I get that job? And now I'm at least mukbang adjacent a little bit. But that was the first time I saw it and never went back.
What do you guys think makes a mukbang video so addictive? What is the appeal of watching someone else eat on camera for extended periods of time?
For me, I think it's just based on what I used to be attracted to when I watch mukbangs. I think it's the aesthetics, maybe the setup, maybe how grand the food looks, the expressions that the creators are making, the entertainment of the interaction with the food.
Yeah, how about you?
For me, I feel like the creators are like my friends, and I also feel like my viewers are like my friends. So it's like interacting with your friend every day, kind of reading all the comments and just making videos for your viewers. That's why it's like an addictive factor for me.
Now, I'm curious, for the sake of everyone in the audience, are you doing these mukbangs live? Are you engaging in the live chat? Are these pre-filmed for people and they're engaging in the comments? How long are they? Just give us a sense of when you are producing a typical mukbang video, what do those look like and how are they being created?
My videos aren't live, but they're pre-filmed. Typically, one mukbang video takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and it takes a couple days to edit them. And I engage with my viewers by reading everyone's comments. And all my fans' names are honeybees. So if any honeybees are here, hi!
There's a couple over there in the right corner of the room right there. How about you, Tim?
Repeat.
What does a typical video of yours look like? Is it being live streamed? How long is it? How, are you engaging with the live chat?
So I'm gonna go ahead and say days, okay, to source the items for the video, to come up with what the video is gonna be, to look into my little YouTube studio and see where people are cutting off, so adjusting, cooking the food. So days, right, when I'm sourcing, and then planning, and when it comes to filming, so it takes me a couple hours to cook the food, then it takes me about 35 minutes to film, and then a couple hours to clean, and then I'm editing, and then posting, and then checking, and it repeats itself. So it takes a long time. I know that sometimes, some people are like, well, it would be so cool to just sit there and eat, but it's not that simple, guys. It's a lot. It's a lot of thought and adjusting and paying attention to your audience and communicating and connecting. And so it's fun and it's rigorous, but I like it.
Josh, you were going to say something?
I was going to say I immediately retract what I said when I said I could do that job, because I can't. Couldn't deal with the dishes. Absolutely not.
All right, have you gotten your fill of the ramen so far? Are you ready to move on to era number 2? Okay, so if you could replace your dishes, my friends, because now we're moving on to era number 2. If you could take the cloche and move it closer to you. I am so sorry. I hate myself too. I'm so ashamed. I feel like I have to issue an apology video after that pun. Thank you. You're the only one after that bad joke. Thank you so much. Is everyone ready to reveal dish number 2?
Yes, sir.
All right, ready? In 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Whoa.
Ooh, what do you got there?
Oh, hell yeah, now we're talking.
It looks like bulgogi rice bowl. Is it? Or
It is bibimbap. I'm told on the card that you should be seeing the bibimbap in front of you.
Oh yeah, it looks like bibimbap.
Perfect.
Kidding.
So, in honor of the trend's origins, we had to bring in one of South Korea's most popular dishes, bibimbap. So please feel free to dig in. No, Hyuni, you just said that what did you say that it was, or what it looked like?
I thought it was bulgogi rice bowl.
What is that, and what is the difference, please?
Bulgogi is marinated beef, and usually it just has a lot of the bulgogi and egg and vegetables in it. Bibimbap normally has more veggies, but this is like a legit bibimbap.
Okay, cool. And so it looks legit. How does it taste? Tiffany, you've got to dig in a little bit here. How's it going?
It's good.
The 2-word food review.
Yeah,
it's good.
good.
Shortest mukbang ever.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's good.
It tastes like good.
Yeah, not spicy enough though, right?
No, but it's good.
Okay, that's fair. Josh?
You have to mix this. Bibimbap means mixed, so you're supposed to mix all the ingredients in here.
It is a very hefty bowl right now. It's literally overflowing. So if it spills off onto the table, it's okay. Josh, passing judgment?
Now this isn't served in the typical hot stone bowl that dulsot bibimbap would typically be served in, of course. However, in my esteemed food critic lens, this rips, dude. I'm having a great time. Eating kimchi in front of hundreds of people, like, yeah, what could be better? This is great. Give it up, everybody. Give it up for yourselves.
I wish I could give you guys a bite too.
Ooh, yeah. No, they're actually going to be getting to their bite in short order here. That comes in around era 3, just so you know. So at this point during the Eras tour, we're moving on to era 2, and this is taking place around 2013, just to set context as far as timelines go. This is where we see South Korean food creators consistently using the term mukbang in their uploads. And so far, it is mostly a regional trend contained to South Korea. Let's actually talk about that for a minute. Josh, do you remember as a foodie yourself, do you remember seeing the rise of mukbang content on YouTube? Do you remember kind of seeing mukbang permeate food videos on YouTube? And what did you think it meant at first? Did you just inherently know?
One, mukbang. It looks a little bit like the name of a Pokemon. There is a Pokemon called Muk. I'm UK. That was my first thought. My second thought, though.
You thought it was a poison Pokemon that's like oozing around everywhere?
Effectively, yeah. Not oozing around everywhere. Muk is slightly contained, but we won't get into that.
More of a Grimer fan myself, just calling it like I see it.
My,
Is that unpopular? Over Muk? Grimer versus Muk, guys. No? Who's Team Grimer? Who's Team Muk? Oh, it's even. Who's team? I have no clue what they're talking about right now. It's a very even third split. Please continue, Josh.
You're familiar with Booba and Kiki, right? Anybody? Booba and Kiki. Who knows what I'm talking about? This idea that no matter what language you grew up in, no matter what culture you grew up in, they've done this psychological test where you will show somebody a very round shape and a very jagged shape and ask them to name them either Booba or Kiki. Without fail, they name the rounder one Booba. So like the word bubble, right? The shape of a bubble is how the word bubble sounds. Your mouth makes very round noises. I think in the same way that mukbang very much sounds like what it is. Like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna eat a giant bowl of bibimbap in front of these people and talk to them. Mukbang, that's the sound that it makes. It's like mukbang. I know it's not an onomatopoeia, but it seems very intuitive to me.
Well, and now I turn it back to the audience, right? So, quick question for everyone here in the room. Do you know what mukbang actually translates to, roughly? Ready? I'm gonna give you 4 options. Ready? So option 1 is bite watching, or bite watch. You have chewing clips, chew clips, swallowing stream, or number 4, eating broadcast or eat cast. So, who thinks it's bite watch? Don't be shy. Okay, a couple, like 6 people over here, 2 over there, perfect. Shout out if you think it means chewing clips. Chew clips. One guy who's very confident right down the center. Well done. Who wants to say that it's a swallow stream or a swallowing stream? Okay, a little bit more, definitely kind of a horseshoe pattern it formed here in the room. And who thinks it's eating broadcast or like an eat cast? You are correct. Congratulations. It is in fact the eat cast. I feel like the swallowing stream might be for a different platform.
So that's what you retired to do.
Yeah. And this was the last podcast that YouTube invited me to host. That'll be cut from the re-upload of this on the YouTube channel. It's a Vidcon exclusive.
What happens at Vidcon stays at Vidcon, baby.
I'm curious, Yuni, why do you think that this trend started in South Korea of all places? What is it about South Korea or its culture that helped to spread and popularize this food-centric content?
So I was telling to you earlier, in Korea, a lot of people take the transit. So a lot of people have time to watch stuff on their phones, and I think that's why live streaming mukbang works so well in Korea. And also, a lot of Koreans are single family Koreans, and the birth rate is on the decrease right now. So a lot of people feel lonely, so they want to watch and eat together with people, and I think that's why it originated from South Korea too.
So it kind of fills a social need that
Right.
people have, where it's kind of sad or lonesome to eat on your own, and so being able to sit down with a phone in front of you and actually like watch or eat alongside someone else is comforting. You have a social relationship with that person.
Yeah. Like, I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys watch videos when you guys eat?
A lot of people. Yep.
And would you feel less lonely watching someone else eat while you're eating too? Yeah, so I mean, it just works out perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know who some of those early South Korean trailblazers of the format were?
Benzi. In Korean, you say Benzi, but it's Benz in English. I don't know if you guys know him, but him and BJ Changhyun, he was like the first one I watched, but I think he was like one of the main ones.
And were there a couple of, and this is for any of you who can answer this one, were there any classic videos that set the trend of mukbang back in the day? Like, these were the mukbang videos that got like millions of views, or the ones that kind of circulated around the internet at that time?
I would say fire noodle videos.
Yeah, I got a real strong fire noodle fan in the second row right here.
Fire noodles!
And for the sake of everyone watching at home, what is a fire noodle? For the sake of everyone who is not that one person in row number 2, what exactly is a fire noodle? I think, Tiff, you're a good one to answer this one.
So fire noodles are super spicy noodles. It comes with a sauce, a red thick sauce that you put in your noodles. You can stir fry them, or they have like stew types. But the point of them is that it's very spicy.
And I think there's capsaicin in it a little bit, but it's made by a Korean company, and it's really addicting. If you guys have tried it, you guys know how addicting it is. I'm addicted to it. I don't know if you guys tried nuclear fire noodles, but they're the 2 times fire noodles. They're more spicy than the original.
Great. So at this point in time, mukbang videos are popping up all across South Korea, right? So much so that mainstream Korean media companies actually start producing mukbang content of their very own. Major TV channels in South Korea like MBC, SBS, JTBC, they all start featuring their own versions of mukbang videos. And for those of you who might not be in the weeds about South Korean television, that would be basically the equivalent of NBC, CBS, and HBO making their own versions of mukbang videos, which is crazy, right? Like, that's wild to think about that, you know, these major media producers would be scheduling mukbangs in between episodes of like Friends and The Sopranos. It's pretty wild. Eat with Tony Soprano there. Also, this was the era where mukbangs started to be popularized and used across the board. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, where the food scene was at this point, was actually more oriented around food challenges, right? This was the era of Glozell Green swallowing a whole spoonful of cinnamon, the cinnamon challenge, right? Or people challenging themselves to drink an entire gallon of milk, both of which ideas you should not be doing at home. So please do not do those sorts of food challenges, but that was kind of where food was in the rest of online video content at that point. I'm curious now to the experts here in the room, how would you define the difference between a food challenge, which, you know, sometimes involves eating large quantities of food very quickly, versus a mukbang? Like, where does that difference settle?
So a food challenge is to test your limits, right? You could test how much you can eat, how spicy you can eat, how fast you can eat. Meanwhile, a mukbang is more, it's supposed to be relaxed and calm, enjoying a conversation while having something that you like, or if you're just trying to watch whoever you like. So that's just a mukbang. It's supposed to be zen.
More about the mukbanger's personality. Like, for me, I do challenge videos, and I do a lot of challenge videos where it's like eating mala spicy fire noodles in 10 minutes and try to finish like 5 packs in 10 minutes and see how fast I can eat it. And then whereas mukbang videos, I'm more engaging, and I'm telling my viewers about my life or any popular topic that's going on right now. Yeah.
Which honestly brings me to a question that isn't officially on my cards, but it's one I've had for a long time, which is, how are you managing your health doing this on a regular basis? Are you constantly exercising away the calories? Are you portioning out the amount that you eat relative to kind of your nutritional quotient for the day? Like, how do you strike that balance as a content creator who is known for eating a diverse quantity and large quantity of food on a regular basis?
So I used to do more challenge videos when I first started doing mukbangs, and I did intermittent fasting where you eat basically once a day. And I also have 2 huskies who are basically my personal trainers.
Give it up for huskies, everyone.
Yes. So I walk them twice a day, like 5 to 10 miles, and also work out a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tiffany, what about you?
So for me, I knew that I had to be responsible. Like, so to start, for any job that you do, there's some risk, right, with your health. And you have to be responsible in making time to eat what you need to eat, when you need to eat, and also put time into exercise, go to the doctor, check up, make sure you're communicating. So for me, I put a gym in my home so that I have the accessibility to getting my health right for the day. So I do 4 miles in the morning, and then I weight lift in the evening. I also make sure that I don't overeat for the day. So if I eat for a video, that's my only meal for the day. And then I'll make sure I eat more healthy for the rest of the week. I also limit myself to 2 videos per week so that I have control in how much calories I'm consuming on a weekly basis.
T, I've watched a lot of your videos. You're out there eating for gains. Like those seafood boils, you're getting like 150 grams of protein. That's solid.
So, and that's another thing. I try to stay away from fast food. It's not really my thing. I make sure that I cook my own foods. So I control my sodiums, I control my fats. So my butter sauce, guys, it's some butter, but it's like a lot of blended garlic and onions and fillers so that I'm not just consuming butter. So I'm mindful of what I'm eating. I'm also mindful of, making sure that the audience is interested in the appearance of the food and just the overall experience.
Absolutely. Now you talk about the appearance and you talk about the preparation.
Yes.
One last thing I think that's important to talk about is the ASMR aspect of this. How important is it to have the sounds of the eating in a mukbang video?
So for a channel like mine who incorporates some ASMR into mukbangs, for me I would say maybe 70% important. The sounds are important. So because I have a split audience, so some people come to my channel for just the sounds, maybe how I eat. Some might find it entertaining, some might want to see the food. I usually leave a segment at my video to speak, so I try to be very calm and relaxing. I try to create a relaxing experience for my audience. So the sound is important, but there's other things too.
No, absolutely. And thank you for that, which now brings us to era number 3, and this is the global expansion of mukbang, as well as the inclusion of ASMR as a focus point in the mukbang community. So let's bring out the next course. We're going to refresh your plates over there. I hope that you had enough to eat for the first 2 rounds. You're all good there. So while they are getting changed over on their food course, if all of you could do me a favor and pull out those bag of chips. Now it's time to hold them up again. Thank you all very much. Do not open them just yet. But you have them in your hands. That's great. So the goal of this next brief little segment is to create what I hope to be the loudest ASMR mukbang ever done live.
Yes!
You think we can do that? Think we can do that? Okay. You may now open your bags, but you may not chew them. Everyone's bags open. Give me a thumbs up when the bags are open. Excellent. Very good. And you guys are still waiting on your dishes, yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Has anyone gotten more hungry over here? Okay, all this talk about food is getting people hungry, yes? I'm curious, over on this side of the room, while we wait for you to get your dishes, do you have favorite foods that you like to eat? Or have you just found yourself eating certain foods on a regular basis because that's what works for the content or for the views?
So for me, I think of YouTube and the way how I create as you keep them, how you get them. So I started with things that I like to eat, and I continue to eat seafood boils because that's what I like. And my audience like it as well.
Yes, please.
I started my first first video with the fire noodles because I love noodles because I'm known as the noodle queen. But I do love noodles, and I used to love sushi too, but filming mukbangs, eating like a copious amount of the same type of food has gotten me kind of sick of sushi, which is kind of bad and sad, but I still love my fire noodles.
So what do you eat when you're not on camera then?
I eat everything. I think I try to eat more healthy though, because I eat a lot of noodles.
Yeah.
Like when I film, yeah.
Makes total sense. Okay, everyone's got their bag of chips ready. If you guys could please reveal your next dish in 3, 2, and 1. We have decided in an effort to make the loudest ASMR mukbang out there in the world, we have given you the crunchiest, crispiest food that we could find, which is crispy rice biscuits. So, Josh, you're having a big reaction to this, and I'm kind of confused as to why. What's going on over there?
As soon as I saw this, I said, these are the loudest, crunchiest things in the world, and I know that because we have these snacks in the office, these little crispy rice rollers, and I started eating one during a very important meeting, and it was incredibly awkward.
Oh, well, great. Well, hopefully today it's slightly less awkward as everyone reach into your bag, grab a chip. I'm going to count us all in on 3 to bite, and then I want us all to bite simultaneously, okay? And we're going to try to make it the loudest crunch possible. Ready? 3, 2, bite! That was much subtler than I expected it to be. It was very mellow. I wanted to crunch. What do you think? Was that good? Was that good? Should we try one more time? Prepare yourself one final time?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? And then at this point you can just eat the chips after this. Ready? Okay, one more time. Make it big and loud. Ready? 3, 2, bites! That was better that time. I felt it. The decibels were up. Give yourself a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, that's very different from your typical ASMR video. That's not us doing like a brief second of ASMR. Josh is showing off his moves there. Well done. Nice. If you want to do it one more time, you think you can do it twice in a row? Oh, easy. Oh. That wasn't even close. Still not close. Okay. We'll give you one. Oh, you're done? Okay. He's throwing in the towel. Not even close. Okay. Well, if you want to continue trying in the background, I'm going to talk about error 3. Is that all right?
You got it, Matt.
Thank you. Hopefully you get it by the time I'm done reading this small portion. So earlier I was saying that most mukbangs were uploaded in South Korea around 2013, right? But by 2015, creators outside of South Korea started going viral with their own personal mukbang videos, mostly with ASMR and mukbang tied together as one combined unit. Josh, I gotta ask, what do you remember about first interacting with food and ASMR related content?
I believe the first food ASMR video I watched, I don't believe it was UT, but you have had some similar videos. It was of Nigerian food, which when you're talking about global expansion of mukbang, one thing that I love about it is it's cultural exchange, right? And that's why I love food. It's just you're learning about people, you're learning about cultures, and especially something that's so underrepresented, like Nigerian food. To see all these like very unique textures with like the fufu and the various swallows, dipped into soups that are thickened with melon seeds. Like egusi soup is one of the world's great dishes from Nigeria, and a lot of people, I think you see something slightly unfamiliar in a mukbang video and somebody eating it in such an accessible, intimate fashion, and it hooks you in and it draws you there. And also Nigerian food is very slurpable in a way that I love. A lot of meat on the bone, a lot of very thick stews and soups. So there's a lot of just like, you know, in a way that I find very pleasant. So I think that was my first experience. I don't think I get the tingles though. I have an ASMR question. Do you either get the tingles or you don't?
So I don't.
I don't either.
I feel like that's like a basketball coach that never played. You know, where it's like you can still be a great coach. You know, you just don't get the tingles.
So we did a past episode of this podcast around ASMR specific content, and I never thought I got the tingles. What I learned is actually I have a directional sensitivity to the tingles. So I don't get ASMR feels from just listening to ASMR videos, but if all of a sudden someone starts talking to me from behind my head, like right up here behind my ear, that's when it flips. Even me thinking about it right now and thinking about sound coming from right behind my ear right now gives me a slight sensation of like, ooh, that's what it is. It gives you that little like, yeah, that ticklish feeling.
I want the tingles. Someone show me the tingles. I want to feel the tingles.
I will intimately talk behind your ear if you need, Josh.
That's all I've ever wanted, Matt.
Well, maybe that's a panel for a different day. That's day 3 of VidCon. I gotta ask for our mukbang creators, is there a food that you've ever tried that hasn't worked? Or something that you thought might be a big hit with your audience, but maybe didn't resonate as well as you would have expected?
For me, sometimes I try trending fast food videos. So let's say if you see something on TikTok and it's trending, right? Like burgers. I'll try it, but it usually doesn't work for me. And I think that, in my opinion, maybe my audience could pick up the fact that I'm not in love with fast food as much as I am with other food. So yeah.
I think every mukbanger has their own niche. Like for me, it's spicy food and noodles. So if I do anything outside of that, I don't get as many views. So like for you, what do you think your niche is?
I think mine is seafood.
Seafood and spicy food,
Spicy.
right? So yeah, anything outside of spicy noodles or spicy food, it doesn't get as much traction. But yeah, that's for every creator or mukbang.
I have a question. What are the most unique mukbang niches that you've seen on YouTube? Like any other creators that only have one specific type of food and something outside of the norm that we see?
So I've seen someone eat bugs.
Okay.
Yeah, bugs and
Okay.
like roaches.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, now
Water
that would
bugs,
give,
right? Water bugs.
I mean, that would give a big ASMR crunch.
Yeah.
I would say, like,
100%.
be thankful that we didn't give you a bag full of cockroaches, guys.
I have deep fried and eaten a cockroach for fun. You put a little chili lime salt on it. If anybody has had chapulines from Oaxaca, deep fried grasshoppers.
Who hasn't?
It's
honestly,
just
like you're just
it's
preaching
just
to the
a
choir.
land shrimp, Matt. It's land shrimp. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Is there? You mentioned earlier, Josh, the interesting or unusual foods from different cultures that you might not have been exposed to without the lens of mukbang, and you mentioned some specific cultures. Are there any other ones that kind of come to mind as like, oh, this was interesting and made accessible to me through the lens of mukbang?
Actually, yeah, one of my favorite, I also just love crustaceans. I love seafood boils, but we normally eat, crab, shrimp, lobster, maybe clams, mussels, but there's such an incredible diversity of delightful sea critters out there to eat, and especially in different countries. I remember watching Chinese creators that would be eating these like giant river oysters that I'd never seen in my life before. I mean, it's like a 4-bite oyster, and they're barbecuing them, and they're putting all the ginger and garlic and chilies, or different kinds of lobsters that exist around the world. Because we use the term lobster to mean so many different things. Like the Little Mermaid, I believe, is not actually a lobster. It's called like a Jamaican squat lobster, which is actually a linguine. But seeing all these different delightful sea critters, people eating barnacles out there, giant fish with sea snail, that's my favorite genre of mukbang, and I love to watch it.
So, Tiffany, I'm curious, when it comes, we talked earlier about the social element of mukbang, right? And the ability for watching a mukbang video to fill maybe a loneliness or a companionship need in people's lives, right? Do you hear about that from your subscribers? Do they send you any messages, or do you see that in the comments, how that's kind of playing into their lives?
Yes, so as I've shared earlier, at the end of my videos, I dedicate sharing my day, sharing something that I've overcome for the week, or just a big obstacle that I've overcome in general. And sometimes I say something motivational just to get some people through the week, because a lot of my viewers will come and they'll tell me what struggles they're going through. They'll either DM me or they will just put it in the comments. And that's one of my favorite part of creating content, is not only connecting through food, but connecting through struggles or joy or whatever it is that we might be going through, because it shows us that all of us are so similar and that our lives are not that different. So yeah, the stories that they tell me about their lives and the ones that I tell them about mine, and when they give me feedback on myself, advice to me or advice to them, that's what usually happens.
And this career path influenced your relationship with meals that aren't content driven? Has it changed the way that you approach meals by yourself or meals with a family?
So, one thing that I noticed that has happened is when I'm recording, my approach to food is different than when I'm eating a meal with my husband and my kids, or when I go out with my friends. So it hasn't changed how I interact off camera, but when I'm on camera, there's a difference. The way how I think about food has changed.
CUNY, how about you?
Same with me. I do think about how delicious I want to look in front of the camera, because I learned through my videos that it also helped a lot of cancer patients, like, because they lose appetite. So by watching mukbang videos, they told me that it's helped them with their appetite a lot, and so I do exercise a little more when I'm filming than when I'm off the camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Despite the fact that we have never really made a proper mukbang video on Mythical Kitchen, we did have this incredible experience where one year during Thanksgiving, we were supposed to upload a video due to our schedule, but videos don't get viewed on Thanksgiving. So we just wanted to make one for us and for our audience. And I had this idea that this is also during the pandemic, so if you were eating alone at home, I decided that I would eat a full 5-course Thanksgiving feast. And in an act of improv comedy, I had a fake conversation with a hypothetical family that was around me. And I didn't think that I could do it. I thought I would break the bit after a while, but I found myself lost in this world of being, yeah, no, Aunt Lydia, oh my God, that's incredible. At college, he did what? And I just did this for 30 minutes uncut. We just uploaded, it was called Eat Thanksgiving with Josh. And we got so many comments from people that were like, I broke down crying watching this video because I don't have anybody to eat Thanksgiving dinner with this year for the first time in 10 years, and you made me feel not alone. And that was the first time that I really understood this power. I mean, it was effectively a mukbang, I just didn't know that name for it. And it was kind of really incredible and really sweet, and actually a big lesson learned in how to really connect with somebody.
I mean, food is such a personal thing, right? It is. It's this. You mentioned it earlier. It's an intimacy thing. You are sitting down. You're making yourself vulnerable. It's a personal expression in a lot of ways. So being able to connect with people through the lens of food is tremendously powerful. Which brings us to the final era today, as we kind of wrap up our podcast for the day. So if you could switch out your plates, please. We are going to era number 4, a final dish for our panel that really incorporates all the elements that we've talked about today, which is everything from the globalization of mukbangs to the satisfying ASMR crunching sounds that we've had. We've got for you today, reveal, some fried chicken, my friends.
All right, where's the hot sauce? Now we really need the hot sauce.
I was told that you would be presented with hot sauce.
There is right here.
Oh, it's right there for you? Great. Okay, feel free to dig in, my friends. One of the recent twists that's been happening on YouTube right now, and the kind of future of mukbang content, is actually animated mukbangs. I don't know if any of you have seen these, we'll talk about it in a second, but basically this is a fusion of animated characters eating content. You know, they are eating food, they are showcasing fictional characters indulging in consuming fictional foods, which is wild. It is a whole new form of entertainment, and it fuses the rise of indie animation, which we're seeing through the likes of the Has-Been Hotels of the world, the amazing digital circuses of the world, and they're fusing it together with this trend of mukbang, which has been around, as we learned, since 2006. So I'm curious, Tiffany or CUNY, do you have any thoughts on this? Like, is an animated mukbang still a mukbang?
I think so. I think that creators in other spaces are noticing that mukbang's trend because all of us have a connection to food. And so it just makes sense that incorporating food and mukbangs to other spaces will work, but I think it's still a mukbang.
I feel like it's more of ASMR, because mukbang is more engaging with your viewers. For me. I mean, there's different types of mukbangs, but I did watch some of the animated mukbangs, and I like watching it because it's so cute.
Yeah.
And the sounds are so crisp.
Yeah, so maybe it's engaging a different part or a different element of it. Maybe you're getting less of the social element, but you're still getting the ASMR satisfaction.
Right.
Yeah, you're engaging with it more as an animated thing. I am curious, before we have one final game coming up for you on stage as well as you in the audience. But before we get to that, I gotta ask, as experts in food and in this content trend, what is next for mukbang? What does the future of this world look like?
So I can see a lot of different genres incorporated in mukbang. Maybe not as grand, maybe on a smaller scale, in short form, even long form. But it makes sense that from a creator's point of view, that using something that is easily connectable to a whole bunch of people will go to other genres. Because the goal is to reach as many people as you can. And so if food is a very common point amongst people, then you're gonna see mukbangs more, ASMR, mukbangs more. Because there's a difference between ASMR channels who do mukbangs and mukbang channels who incorporate ASMR sounds.
Great. Any thoughts?
For me, I don't know if you guys know me, but I started a golf channel as well, and I'm trying to collide both worlds together. And I've also seen other golfers include mukbang while they're golfing. So that's like one future, plan for me. But I can see any world colliding with
Well, it's exactly like what we just talked about with the animated mukbangs, right? It's fusions of content now. Now that mukbang is established as a format and just something that people understand exists in the world of entertainment, now what do you have next? Well, you fuse it together with other forms of content. You fuse it with animation, you fuse it with sports, you fuse it with drama in a lot of ways, right? So how do you take what is this fundamental baseline of content and how do you evolve it and kind of twist it out and mix it up? Mukbang it with other things, right?
Well, what if somebody started like a hybrid mukbang celebrity interview channel where you talk about very intimate topics such as, I don't know, death, life, success, legacy? That'd be pretty crazy, right?
I wonder if someone could do that at some point.
Or like final chow down.
Sorry. Copyright flagged.
No, we're done. We're done.
Maybe you can invite me onto that show at some point, Josh.
I don't know, man. Get a little bigger first, and then we'll talk.
Sounds good.
We had Tom Hanks, Matthew.
Wow.
I'm kidding. If anybody hasn't seen Matpat's Last Meal over on the Mythical Kitchen channel, what an incredible conversation. And you shared so much of your life about food, and we were just there getting down on oysters and sushi and 6 different tacos.
It was incredible.
Your grandmother's, I believe they're called gobs?
Yes, gobs.
But it's such an incredible way to share information about your grandmother's gobs specifically. But truly, like, one thing that I love about YouTube is that you see something like mukbang become a rocket ship, and you don't necessarily have to start doing mukbang content yourself, but you should learn why and understand the appeal. And so for us, eating creates a very intimate connection. People also, I think there's this idea of wish fulfillment in mukbang, tea specifically. When I watch that's like several $100s worth of king crab. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, God, I wish I was there eating this perfectly shelled king crab. Ditto with this interview format, right? Where we're sitting there eating 6 different tacos on one plate. And so I think even shows like Hot Ones as well, right? There's that big element to that. And I think insofar as the term mainstream even exists anymore, I think we're just seeing that psychology of what made mukbang so successful. I think we're going to see that incorporated into pretty much everything and learning those lessons.
Well, including what we're about to do right now, which is a game show format. So to round things out here at the end of the day, we're fusing mukbang with game show. I'm going to eat, all right? The name of the game right now is What Are They Eating? Everyone in the audience, you're going to play along as well. You guys at the tables, you're going to play. All right, so first you listen, then I'm going to have you all vote. Ready? So play sound number 1, my friends. Maybe? Okay. Okay. Is this person eating sashimi, steak frite, or noodles? Shout out if you think it's sashimi. No. Steak frite? Noodles? Reveal the answer, my friends. It is, in fact...
I knew that was me. I was like, is that
recognize your own eating sounds?
Yeah.
Incredible technique, Johnny. Incredible technique, by the way.
I think that really brings it together. Round number 2, let's play that second sound if we can. Okay, so is this person eating king crab, shrimp cocktails, or tacos? Who do you think? Is it king crab? Shout out. Is it shrimp cocktail? Tacos? Reveal the answer. Tiff, is that one you're like, oh, I hear that, I recognize that one? All right, one last round, my friends. Let's play sound number 3. I'm hearing a lot of oohs from the front of the audience. All right, is this corn on the cob, octopus, or fried rice? Anyone who thinks corn on the cob, shout out. Not many, there's a couple people right there in the middle. Octopus. Overwhelming for the octopus. Fried rice. Okay, a couple real strong opinion right there in the middle. Let's reveal the answer.
Yes!
Did you recognize that one yourself?
I did not.
Yeah, that was a hard one, right? Is there a proper way to eat corn on the cob? I have to ask.
Just don't think about it. Just however you enjoy it.
Just don't think about it. That's amazing. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, congratulations to all of you. That completes this portion of our hearing test today. Thank you all. All right. So just to round things out right now, I would say that this was a real feast in a variety of ways. Let's give a shout out to the Salvation Army one more time for accepting all the we have left over as a donation. Also, let's thank our guests here today for not just having fun with us, but for also helping to popularize one of the most innovative, interesting, and unusual sensory stimulations on YouTube. Mukbang creators have been redefining what mainstream content looks like, and they've been able to tap into every single one of our human senses. You guys, with your food content, have been able to reshape the game here on YouTube, as well as become some of the ultimate content creators on the platform. So everyone, please give it up for our guests! Tiffany from Eat Spice Cookie, Beauties, and Josh from Visible Kitchen. And also, give it up for you guys for being a part of that giant crunch sound effect, my friends. Thank you all for listening at home as well. I've been Matpat, and until the next time I decide to come out of retirement, this has been Like and Describe. See you later.